evening, classmates. I'm here to continue the learning disabilities in speaking. Uh, speaking involves speech and the articulation of the, of course, mouth. Let's tackle first the first learning disability in speaking, which is the receptive aphasia. Receptive aphasia, as you can see in the Manila paper, it is also called as sensory aphasia or Wernicke's aphasia from the name of the German physicist who discovered this disability. Pierre Wernicke. Wernicke lang, sorry. And this aphasia results from a lesion of the temporal lobe, upper back part of the temporal lobe. Yes, of the brain. Temporal lobe is responsible for the movement, the auditory senses of the body. It is located as in the upper back. Pwede pa hiram? Upper back of the temporal lobe. Temporal lobe is located here. This is the cerebrum, right? The cerebellum. So, temporal lobe is located here. The lesion of or damage of the brain in the temporal lobe. Again, temporal lobe is the damage or temporal lobe is responsible for auditory senses of the person. Involves smell, taste, like that. And in receptive aphasia or receptive aphasic patient is having a difficulty in stopping his speech. He is speaking so long. Yes, so long. So long. Speaking so long that he can't even stop. And he has also a problem in comprehension. He can write, but he can't read. Yes, receptive aphasia. He can write, but he can read. Understand?
So he cannot read what he wrote.
Yes, he can write. And he can speak. He's speaking too long. And he can't write. He can write, but he can't read. Because he has a problem in articulation of the word. Yes.
I thought writing and speaking is
Huh? Yes, they are connected. That's the main problem of being a receptive aphasic patient. Because you can't read what you are writing, but you can write. Okay? Understand?
Yes.
Next, no more questions.
None.
Violent reaction.
None.
So, opinion, comments, recommendation.
None.
Okay. Next, let's proceed to the expressive aphasia. Expressive aphasia, or also called as motor aphasia or Broca's aphasia. It is named by the French physicist Carl Broca, who discovered this illness or this disability. As described here, it is the damage to the lower back of the frontal lobe. We can say that this is the receptive aphasia or the Broca's syndrome, or Wernicke syndrome, and in the frontal lobe is the expressive aphasia or the Broca syndrome. They are actually contrast with each other because frontal lobe is what? Frontal lobe is responsible for motor skills or movements of the body. So, in expressive aphasia, the patient has a problem in speaking continually or continuously. Because yes, unlike the pyrrhonic aphasia, they can speak too long, so long. And here in expressive aphasia, another idea, receptive aphasia is they didn't know that in their speech they are committing wrong. And they are having a hard time understanding one's speech.
That's for us.
For example, we have a patient here, receptive aphasia. He can understand what I am talking about. Or he has having a difficulty in understanding what I am talking about. This expressive aphasia is the total contrast of the two. So, the difference between the two of them, the receptive aphasia is located in the temporal lobe, the damage in temporal lobe, and in expressive aphasia, the damage in the frontal lobe. Next, we have understand, no more questions, violent reaction. Next, we have the global aphasia. It is the combination of the two symptoms, the receptive and expressive aphasia. As you can see, as you can read, combined symptoms of expressive and receptive aphasia, limited comprehension and speech is minimal. Their comprehension with what they're talking about, with what they're reading about, is difficult and their speech is minimal. It's what we call the global aphasia. Sometimes referred to as irreversible aphasia syndrome. Irreversible aphasia syndrome because sometimes they are receptive, sometimes they are expressive. But it's the combination of the two syndromes. Understand?
Yes.
No more questions. Violent reaction, opinion.
Global aphasia can do.
Yes, global aphasia.
It can do to right.
Minimal
Entry.
lang.
It can be because this is also called as irreversible syndrome. Irreversible syndrome because sometimes they can be receptive, aphasic, or sometimes they can be expressive.
Combined.
Yes, combined. And they are the damage on his brain or the damage on the patient's brain is both. It's either he has a lesion on temporal lobe or he has also a lesion on the frontal lobe. Some schools having studies regarding with these aphasic children. Some schools in USA, but here in the Philippines, so far none. They are also connected with the listening skills, with the deaf. They can be classified as mute. Yung receptive aphasia. That's all.